Hi everybody, welcome to the South Australian Sports Show. New start to the year. Hope you can stay with us for the next hour. We have got plenty coming up on the show. And a new co-host with me, Barry Curtin, of course, a legend of South Australian sport, mate. When you've been around 40 years, played state cricket, and you've been at the same club, how long have you been at Port Adelaide / Power? 35, 40 years? What are we? 30 years.
I signed my 30th contract in November.
Did you really?
1 year deal.
Was there ever a chance
Tom
that you...
Logan.
Tommy Logan, just 1 year at a time now?
1 year at a time.
Handshake or biro and...
No, it's a contract.
Is it?
But it started 1 year, first year, and I thought, well, I'm only going to do this for 1 year. So I'll just sign a 1 year deal. Then the next year I said, well, I'm only going to do this for 1 year. Another one, boom.
So you've seen your future well, year
30.
by year?
Yeah, I've
30
been there
years.
30 years.
Have you ever been close to not going back?
Never.
Ever? No?
Never. No. You know, it's interesting you ask that question because people say to me, do you ever get tired of doing what you're doing? And I say to them, well, okay. When we play at Adelaide Oval, I pull into the best car park and park right out the front of the members there. I go upstairs, I have a 3-course meal, I do a bit of wah-wah, then I go and sit in the best seat in the house to watch my team play football. I'm throwing that away? I don't think so.
Hey, let's talk about it briefly. 30 years at a footy club, been a great journey, the tradition of Port Adelaide and then into the AFL to win it in 2004.
Yeah.
You got 5 or 6 favourite players across that journey because you've had a lot of interaction with a lot of players.
Well, I'd have to say Russell Ebert would be right up there, but then Tim Ginniver would be right up there as well. Good, great captain.
Probably saved the Magpies there. Does that get forgotten? You know, there was that period where he was happy to rattle the cans.
He rattled the can. He made $4.80.
Yep.
So I wouldn't say he saved us. No. But for $4.80 is a good effort.
Yeah, it was good for Tim.
Terrific effort.
Yeah, I reckon there was a hole at the bottom of the can.
Yeah. He was just a great captain.
Yep.
Gavin, Matthew Primus, fantastic leader of our football club, and I think currently. Travis Spoke. We're very lucky to have him as a...
Been a little bit of criticism by a bloke about
Yes.
Travis Spoke. I'm a bit hot on that. We won't mention any names, but to write an article saying that he shouldn't be captain, totally incorrect.
Totally incorrect.
And I think it shows an ignorance on his behalf. I know we want to stir up stuff and we want to say things so people read it, but that's too far off the mark.
Yeah.
For you, too far off the mark?
Yeah, way off the mark.
Yeah.
And he was never not going to be captain.
Yeah.
No matter who wrote what. But I thought it was a bit unfair on Bokey.
I thought he answered in the best way he could on the weekend.
Answered brilliantly on the weekend.
I thought it was
the other thing with that, Phil, too, is in 1990, when Port tried to get into the AFL.
Yes, to the AFL, yep.
Well, I'd been with the club 2 years then, so that was my real initiation into an amazing year of hate. It was an incredible year. 1990 was an amazing year of everybody not liking you, if you know what I mean, because I was working for 5AA at the time as well.
Oh, producing for 5AA.
And I remember being called up and being asked by the general manager, or saying to me that as the producer of the sports show, I have to give more because I know more.
Oh.
So whatever. And of course there was no way that was going to happen. You know the deal at Port Adelaide. No. There's no way you let anything out. But it was the most unbelievable year that I've ever spent in football.
Mate, we touch on it at the end of the show because you're a bit of a funny guy. You like to have a sense of humour, you like to have a joke about things, and sometimes that can get misread by people.
Yeah.
You talk about the Crows, and a lot of people think you have a hatred for them.
No.
At the end of the show, we catch up and discuss that a little bit. So you have to stay with us at the end of the show to see that.
Yeah.
Mate, just quickly, the weekend, a little disappointing, of course, the Sixers not winning.
Very disappointing.
But it was great. There was a lot of publicity. It was great for basketball. Crows and Power both getting wins. The city gets up and about.
Significant
when
wins.
our footy teams win, don't they?
And even Adelaide United, Phil.
Yep.
Who are now, well, I think they're sitting about 4th or 5th.
They are just on the cusp.
And right now they've got their squad back together and are playing well. So it does. It lifts the whole state. That's why I was hoping that the Sixers would get across the line.
Yeah,
because I've been following them. I'm a great fan of the basketball.
You are, mate. There's plenty coming up on the show. Hope you can stay with us for the next hour. We're going to talk about the Southern Footy League. The Masters Games are coming up in Murray Bridge. Futsal, we've got a couple of young ladies coming in to talk about the World Championships that they're attending in July. Rugby Union, we're going to get across that. AFL tips with Bevo. The Master is in, and his tips are always pretty good. But now, it's time for the news with Ash.
Thanks, guys. The cricket scandal continues to rock the nation as Australia falls to South Africa in the 4th Test. Steve Smith, David Warner and Cameron Bancroft have all been sent home, while Darren Lehman has stepped down as coach. Smith and Warner have both copped heavy bans and will not be able to participate in the game for at least 12 months. The 36ers have come home empty-handed in the NBL Grand Final after failing to counter a dominant performance from a strong Melbourne United outfit. United clinched the Game 5 victory with an 18-point win over the visitors. 36ers guard Shannon Shorter was influential in the loss, while game veteran Chris Goulding took home the MVP award for the victors. Adelaide coach Jory Wright will hope to rally his team before they begin preparing for next season's campaign. The Crows are off to a cracking start with a satisfying win over last year's premiers. Despite high scrutiny, Josh Jenkins booted 5 goals to lead his team to a 36-point victory over the Tigers. Rory Laird was once again fantastic with a game-high 42 disposals as the Crowies prepare for their round 3 clash against the Saints. Port Adelaide pulled out a gutsy 23-point win over Buddy Franklin and the Sydney Swans at the SCG. And usual suspects Ollie Wines and Travis Boak starred in the 4-quarter slog, which saw the Power run over the Swans despite trailing in almost every area at the half. Port will be looking to start the 2018 campaign with an impressive 3-0 start when they face Brisbane in round 3. Inspirational Aussie Lauren Parker is set to compete in the Commonwealth Games less than 12 months after she suffered a freak accident that left her paralysed. Parker will hope to bring home the gold as she represents Australia in the para-triathlon this Saturday. Adelaide United has put on another great display in their last home game of the season against ladder dwellers Wellington Phoenix. The home side booted 3 goals in front of a season-high crowd of almost 12,000 people. Yori Hahn Absalonson starred once again with an impressive header to open the score. Adelaide United play 2 more games before finals commence later this month. The Australian women's T20 side has claimed victory in the Tri-Nation tournament with a win over England. England were unable to overcome Australia's 4 for 209, a record score in women's T20 internationals. A strong 139-run partnership between Lanning and Villani secured the win for the Aussies. And that's all for news. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that, Ash. Of course, now one of your favourite sports I know, Baz, is futsal.
The reason I'm here.
The reason you are here, but we have brought in 2 superstars.
I know.
Under 16, about to head off to the World Championships in Orlando. Grace Lukac joins us and Paige Heron. Thanks for coming in, girls. Are you a bit nervous about being on TV?
Yeah.
Really? You wouldn't know that because you were in chatterboxes before we started, so you have to keep it going. Let's start with you first, Grace. How did you get into futsal?
So I started playing soccer in around about 2012, I think, with indoor soccer with my school. We had a team we were called the Mystic Wombats. My dad was the coach. We went out there. No one really knew what to do. We lost our first game 22-0. And that's how I started, basically.
What drew you to indoor soccer?
Well, because I came from a really small school, we didn't really have the numbers to have any outdoor teams. We weren't really a sporting school at all. They were all an arts school, so they didn't really focus on sport. So indoor soccer, you only have 5 people on at a time, so we were able to get a couple of numbers of my friends. So that was just the only sport that they were really offering at that time.
Fantastic. What about you, Paige? How did it start for you?
Well, I actually started playing soccer first in year 7, and I just sort of made my way up. And then last year, I decided to give futsal a shot. I tried out for the under 16 state team, and I made it. So, yeah.
Soccer family?
Yeah. Oh no, my dad's actually a basketball player.
Okay, so where's the connection with soccer then? If you would have had a choice of sports?
Not really. I just sort of decided to give it a shot. I used to like watching like soccer on TV and everything, and I thought it was a really interesting sport.
Hey, for the people that don't know what futsal is, 5-a-side indoor, it's explosive, only the 2 halves. How tired are you at the end of a game?
Oh, pretty tired.
Yeah.
It's a really, really fast-paced game. We have to use our subs a lot, just keep on rotating. You're basically just sprinting up and down the court, and yeah, don't get much time to rest.
You don't get much break whatsoever during the quarter too, so.
All right, Sydney, Queensland were the last 2 futsal championships. 4 days of competitive sport. How are you feeling at the end of it?
Oh, definitely exhausted.
Is it?
Yeah, well, we've got to make sure we're looking after ourselves. We bring our rollers along. Our team manager was really helpful with nutrition and everything to make sure we've got heaps of food, heaps of fruit, bananas, muesli bars, protein bars, just making sure we're eating at the right times before games so that we don't get too sore.
we're not going to Sydney or Brisbane here. We're going to Orlando. This is a bit bigger. This is a bit bigger, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking about the
definitely.
worlds here.
Yep.
And just having a little chat off camera, you don't really know your opposition, and you still don't know, and probably won't know until you get there. Is that right?
Yeah, well, not sure when we're going to get that information. I hadn't even heard of Worlds before we qualified for it, really.
What do you think you were qualifying for?
Well, we didn't know that we were qualifying at all.
Well, we sort of just got there in our finals and
Yeah,
played.
it was the last thing of our mind. We were just hoping to place well in the tournament, and there wasn't actually much discussion at all about Worlds at the end of it. Our goal was to go and give it to them in Queensland and just play as well as we could, and then finding out we qualified was kind of just a
Wow.
great bonus for everyone.
So what happened when you found out? So obviously you wanted to play as well as you can, so you didn't want the Worlds to be a distraction, so
Yeah.
no one talked about that. Then suddenly you've done really well and you
Yeah.
find out you're going to
So
the Worlds.
we originally thought that only the team that won finals would get invited, but we lost on penalty shootouts in the grand final, and it turns out that if you made it to the final, you weren't invited. So everyone was saying different things. Oh, we're not going, we are going, we're not going. And then to find out that we actually were going, everyone was really excited.
All right, so there's 4 teams going,
Yeah.
2 women, 2 men.
Yeah.
Currently on the world stage, the women are ranked 9th in the world in futsal. The men aren't in the top 20, so you guys have to be the flag bearers and get us through. So, I mean, I know it's big in Spain, it's big in Greece, it's big in Italy and all those sports. I mean, are you kind of excited to see what's happening in the rest of the world when you get over there?
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, I wouldn't say that I really know much about futsal in Australia. I don't think we even have a league really for futsal in South Australia. It's just we get a team. Most of the girls from our team come from outdoor and then play futsal in the summer season.
Okay.
So it's not a full-time thing like it is for other countries over there. And even in Queensland as well, they actually have a futsal league. So the teams we were versing there, they just played futsal and we were coming from outdoor to futsal.
How many teams? Do you know how many teams there will be in Orlando? You don't know that?
No,
either.
we have no
And
idea.
you really
what's
don't know
gonna
your
be.
opposition, so you don't get a video handed to you and saying, look, when we play Brazil, watch out for Pele here, or you need a bit of a gun or whatever. You don't get anything like that.
No, we won't
you're
give
going in cold.
Yeah.
Even when we were in Queensland, we weren't given any information about who we were versing and everything like that. So we
You
sort of
need
just
a
went out
league.
there playing.
You
Yeah.
need a league.
You know when you get all the psychologists in, Barry, and when you're involved with the AFL and they're saying, now, we don't want to get distracted, we want to be relaxed. Have you ever met 2 girls more relaxed?
No,
We didn't even know we were playing for the Worlds.
right.
We didn't know this. We don't know who we're playing. We just keep winning. It's with the right formula, though.
Exactly
We keep
right.
winning. We just don't know what we're doing, but we keep winning and we're really good at it. So
Do you know when you're going?
Yes.
Oh, you know that.
We're
Yeah.
going
July
July the 19th. Yeah.
Is it a funded thing? Who's
No.
Mum?
Yeah,
Mum,
definitely.
Dad.
oops, now we're getting down to the
Whoop.
nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Do you know how much it costs? Do you know what the expense is to compete?
I think $3,500.
$3,500 to go over there.
To go and
Per player,
compete
Yeah.
in Orlando?
And
So-
how long for?
9 days.
Wow.
Surely Disney World would be on the...
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Now, I want to know what's more important at the moment. Are we focused on the Futsal World Championships or getting to Disney World?
It's a bit 50-50, actually.
Well, you need to stay with the same relaxed program because it's
Yeah.
been really good for you. Hey, will we see you when you come back? Will you come back on the show and tell us all about it?
Oh, yeah, sure, if you guys want us back.
Absolutely. I'm
Absolutely.
really excited about it. Well done on both of you. I hope it's hugely successful. And, of course, for the parents that have to fund it, hopefully, good luck with that too. Stay with us. A bit more to come on the show.